Hello and welcome to the rule of thumb. In today's episode we will talk about the final stages in the shooting in a Korean technique, namely the release and follow through or kata. But first I have to address some issues left uncovered by the previous episodes. I received some questions in the meantime, and people were asking me mostly two questions. First of all, do I count the bow or do I keep it straight like this? And the second question that I found interesting is, how do you use your eyes? Which eye it's looking at the target and from which side of the bow? I have to admit that at first I didn't know how to reply to the second question, and I have to go shoot and check for myself which I am using. So apparently when I'm aiming, I'm using my left eye to look at the target, and with my right eye looking at the target, I see also the shaft of the arrow in a blurry vision. And the second thing, it's for the first question, it's the Korean recommends that you count the bow until the lower limb it's not seen because of the forearm. So you have to hide the lower limb underneath the arm. So this 15 degrees roughly inclination gives you a better view of the target, and also allows you to align your, if you enter the bow, allows you to align your eyes with your arrow by inclining the torso a bit, and also cleaning the path of the string. I know that the part about the release is gonna be the most controversial between all of my videos, and I expect that I will have interesting comments in the comment section, and any comment and critique are welcomed, as I said from the beginning. My take on the release, and it's not only my take, it's what my teachers told me, is that it has to be as simpler as possible. If you do fancy stuff with the release hand, this will affect your precision. You cannot do something with your hand exactly the same every time. Maybe you get 3 out of 5 exactly the same time, but the key point is to keep it simple. And what do I mean by this? It's after you reach your full draw, and as I told you before, you keep always the extension, a macro extension, and the tension in the back muscle always expanding, and at the moment of the release, the string hand only has to relax, and only these 2 fingers, by relaxing those 2 fingers, allowing the arrow to have a clear path and not be affected by any move I do behind it. So I'm not a big fan of anything like the Turkish release, Chinese, horseback or any other stuff. I believe that true, good, clean, nice, crisp release will come if you just relax your hand and make it the release. Try to make it not like an action, but rather like an beginning of an inaction, or stop doing something that you were doing until that point. So you're drawing, you reach your full draw, you keep the micro extension, and when you decide that it's the right moment and you have all the alignment and the balance in your between your pushing power and pulling power, it's acquired, you have just to relax your hand and let the arrow go. The trick is, though, just to relax the fingers that are gripping the string. And as I told you before, you don't need much stronger force in the grip of the string than it's required to open the bow. You have to feel this tension and to be on the brim of letting go at the end. So not holding it very tight, but rather measuring the weight of the bow, and at the end just relaxing, but relaxing only these two fingers. The rest of the body, the abdomen, the back muscle, and especially the bow hand should remain in tension. The bow hand should continue the pushing movement, and the bow will also have a slight outward movement from the torsion in the handle, and also an inclined movement from the grip of the bow, from the pulling in the upper side of the bow and pushing from the lower side of the bow. So this should look like this. The follow-through, it's also rather passive one. It's not something that you do, it's what happens in the rest of the body after you release the tension in the string. So what is known as katra, or any movement of the bow, and there are several versions of this movement of the bow after release. But my take is that the tension in the grip should remain engaged until the arrow hits the target. So there are versions when they just relax the bow hand in the same time as relaxing the string hand, and the bow will jump happily like this, or any kind of movement that you make with the bow hand, it's gonna ruin your shot. So what you have to do is, after reaching the full draw, and keep in mind that you have to release only by relaxing this hand. If you keep the tension in the rest of the body, the follow through, the kata, will happen naturally because of the way you grip the bow. And I have to refer you back to the video about gripping technique. So I'm not making any conscious movement at the release. I just let everything happen by itself, because my theory is that you have to minimize all the variables in order to achieve consistency. Thank you guys. See you next time.